Vlogpose here with another episode of Future Diary. Okay, so episode 4 starts off with Yukki still trying to get over what he just saw in Yuno's closet. A bunch of bodies. We don't know how many at this point. There's more than one. So Yuki's texting Kurisu, fourth, on what he saw. But of course, since Yuno's diary is always up to date on what Yukki is doing, she keeps texting him, "Who are you trying to call? What are you doing?" That kind of stuff. And so he thought, okay, well, I'm screwed here. So the next day, knock on the door, Kurisu's there to pick him up. He's like, "Hey, you didn't check in last night." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, see, I was with Yuno and there was this thing," and then Yuno, of course, is right there, and she's, "No, you can't kiss and tell." And Kurisu's like, "Okay, I don't want to know what you guys were up to. Just, yeah." So they were on their way to a shrine. And they were going to talk to this clairvoyant girl or whatever. And, okay, for those who have not seen the series, I want you to skip over to whatever timestamp I have below. This is only for those who have seen the series before. Okay. I just realized in this most recent time of watching, and I've seen this episode like 5 times, and I just noticed that girl out front is the girl that works with Eighth. And also, she's calling over I. And I, as you know, is the girl part of Seventh. So that just blew my mind when I'm watching. It's like, wait, what? Does Sixth know Seventh and Eighth then? Or are they all working together? Because I know that Seventh grew up with Eighth in her orphanage. I think that's how it works. I think that's how they're connected. So I guess Sixth must be a part of this too. Maybe after Sixth's parents died, then Eighth took her under her wing or whatever, and so that's how they all know each other. I don't fully know, but that blew my mind when I realized we got introduced to Seventh this early in the series, and we don't meet them until, well, halfway through, a little more than halfway through. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I love when series do that. I love when they introduce certain elements of a series that just kind of go over your head because you're like, okay, cool, I'm watching the series. And then you go back and watch, you're like, that's that thing. Yeah, I freak out when I see those. Anyway, back to everybody. So, first, second, and fourth are at this shrine. And this girl who is blind, or mostly blind, was describing these visions that she's getting that are on her scroll, and her scroll just started writing itself one day, and that's when Yukki realized, wait a minute, that's a diary user. And Yukki in this episode, for whatever reason, is as big as a wuss as he's ever been, more than a wuss than he's ever been. Because as soon as he freaked out, oh no, we have a diary user, he's curled up in a ball behind Kurisu here. Like, really? Just because she is a diary user, that doesn't mean anything. You got along with fourth just fine. That doesn't mean anything. So, Tusbaki is sixth. And her diary, since she's blind, she basically sees what her followers see, or will see. And so that's her diary. Meanwhile, we have Ninth underground in some underground jail cell thing, chained up, and of course she's topless for whatever reason, with eyeball dude. And okay, I gotta be honest, I watched a couple episodes back to back, so I'm trying to figure out what's in the 4th episode versus the 5th episode. So bear with me here. I had a few episodes recorded, and my footage got deleted somehow, so I'm thinking, okay, what's part of episode 4 versus episode 5, And then there's episode 6, which is... Anyway, yeah. So just kind of bear with me as I'm trying to remember what was in one episode versus the other. But she finds out that Eyeball Man is 12th. So we now know his number. He's got her eyeball in a jar, which is a little freaky. Anyway, back to 6th, she realizes she has a dead end, and she's like, well, I don't really want to be God, I just want some protection throughout the night here, and I know that Yukki here has avoided death at least twice because of his battle with 3rd and the battle with 9th. And can't trust this girl, of course, because a girl has her eyes on Yukki, and that's not good for because competition. And says, oh, we could just leave her die, and no, we can't do that. So at one point in the episode, somebody brings in a futon or whatever, or a blanket or whatever for Tsubaki, and it catches fire. And so then they try to put it out, and it ends up being gasoline they put on there. So pretty much Tsubaki's surrounded with flames right now. And one of Tsubaki's followers says, you idiot, that's gasoline, that's not water. And he's like, whoa, was I just hypnotized just now? And then that brings in more people that are hypnotized that are going to attack Yukki, and Tsubaki. Meanwhile, Kurisu has left the scene, and the sprinklers put out the fire. Now, of course, has started to slash at some of these hypnotized people. And so finally we get a call from Kurisu that put out the fire, and it's like, yeah, it's about time you finally do something. You got these 3 kids that are trying to fend for themselves with people with axes or whatever, although one of them is probably just as unstable as these people with the axes that are hypnotized. Yeah. So then Tsubaki calms down her followers, and then she looks over at Yukki, who again cowers in fear. I'm thinking, idiot, you just saved her life here, and she calmed down all of her followers. You really think then she's going to attack you? No. Be a man here. So yeah, that was that, and then, oh yeah, Yukki was saying that you were certifiably insane to which of course upset her a little bit, and now of course she wants to kill Tsubaki, which she thought, well, Tsubaki's gonna die anyway, might as well be by me. So anyway, Yuno comes in, she's got an axe in her hand, and Yuki's like, oh, hold on, Yuno, I'll be outside in a minute, can you just wait outside? Okay, that's fine. So she waits outside, so they were able to have their little conversation or whatever. At the end of the episode, Yuno starts slashing these already dead bodies, which 12th says, they're onto me. And so then they rise back up. They were just playing dead. And so she starts slashing at them, and then they realize, yeah, Tsubaki's looking at her scroll, and she says, oh, there's an intruder. There's another intruder. We're surrounded, and then you look outside, and pretty much all of her followers are almost a zombie in a way. They're all or whatever. So that's how that episode ends, and I'm probably forgetting important details, which I'll try to include in the next vlog about 5, because, like I said, my footage got deleted. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm trying to not spoil things from episode 5 while talking about episode 4, but while I talk about 5, I could talk about some of these things in 4 that I might have missed. Yeah. And so then, oh yeah, then of course you had the murmur moment at the very end of the episode, where Tsubaki's just sitting in her little cage, jail cell thing, because her parents put her in there because she's blind. I forgot to mention that. That's kind of her way of protecting people. And she looks over and she's like, "What is that that's over there?" Because it's just murmur, and it eats, and then she looks over again, and she's pulling out a futon. It intends to sleep here, and then and then Murmur's got like a little television watching some little cartoon or whatever, and she's scratching her butt. And she's got an empty soda bottle next to her or whatever, and Murmur's like, and she doesn't even know I'm here. And she's like, my vision's not that bad. And so then that's when Murmur starts to talk about, you are now a diary user with the clairvoyant diary. And so that's how that episode ends. Very comedic with the Murmur moment there. So that is how episode 4 ends. And I'll talk about episode 5 in the next vlog, even though I just watched it. And those moments are starting to blur with 4. So yeah, I'll catch you in that vlog, and I'll see you then.